Good evening, everyone. In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, be advised that a notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board in Town Hall and forwarding to the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at Milburn Education Center at 7 p.m. on May 20th, 2025. Meeting details and the draft agenda were also posted on our Township website. Please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A quick reminder that the agenda was updated yesterday, and Ordinance 2707-25 pertaining to restricting gas-powered leaf blowers was removed from this meeting and will not be considered by the committee tonight. Also, Resolution 25-144 pertaining to sidewalk cafe licenses was updated, and paper copies of the updated resolution have been provided to the committee and available to the public. May I have a motion to approve the April 15th, 2025 Township Committee minutes?
So moved.
Oh, I didn't do roll call. I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Here.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Here.
Mr. Sacramandi? Mr. Stoller?
Present.
Mayor Romano?
Here. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all right, now go back here. May I have a motion to approve the April 15th, 2025 Township Committee minutes?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. May I have a motion to approve the April 15th, 2025 Special Township Committee minutes?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, reports. Should I just go first? Because, all right, I'm gonna go first tonight. So we have special guests with us tonight. We have the winners of the bike, walk, and roll contest that took place on May 7th. So we have our awards for the students. Should I go around and do it?
Yeah.
Just take the microphone out.
Here you go, call her name, I'll hand it to him.
Okay. Is that on? Okay. Okay, so our first winner is first grade from Wyoming School, Chu Chen. Chu Chen. Congratulations. Okay, from Hartshorn School, fourth grade, Zoe Serino. Okay, at Milburn Middle School, eighth grader Emma King. And Milburn High School, 10th grade, Annabelle Kobos. Congratulations to all of our winners. Yeah, want to take a picture?
Bye. Good. Have a good evening. This game's not on tonight.
This is the good stuff, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, reports. Committeeman Stoller, would you like to start? I mean, yeah. Would you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Okay, Recreation Committee, 4 Miler registration is still open. Events is Sunday, June 1st. The pool opens this weekend. Par 3 Breakfast Scramble Tournament was postponed last weekend, is rescheduled for June 7th at 8:30 a.m. The MSHYB Family Day is also Saturday, June 7th. Board of Education bus drivers will be helping with summer camp pool trips this summer, and spring programs are finishing up. Fall registration will open soon. Special Improvement District, plans for annual Girls Night Out, organized by Explore Millburn Short Hills. The event takes place in downtown on Thursday, June 5th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Wild success last year. Please make sure you sign up, and it starts at Live Breads at 4:30 p.m. or across from Live Breads in the parking lot 1. 60 businesses are participating from 5 districts of the city, and attendees will enjoy the best swag bags we've ever had. That's the promise. Explore has raised nearly $10,000 for this event from 14 different sponsors. I always mention the sponsors: RWJ Barnabas Health, Skin Spirit, Gem Dental, Menon Regenerative Institute, Goldberg's World Famous Deli, Shala's Boutique, Game Changer Fitness, Paper Mill Playhouse, SLT My Skin, Evolve Fitness Studio, Sweat House Short Hills, Reese Style Exchange, and Spotless Dry Cleaners. Big thank you to them for what they've done. Board of Education Liaison. All elementary school roles have been hired, and we have an interim principal in the high school right now. So 1/3 of those are internal candidates, 2/3 are coming from outside, so that's a really good mix. I'd love to congratulate Millburn High School student athletes who just graduated, who signed to play in sports in college. So great job for our Millers. I'm gonna go through them quick. Emma Warros, Grant University Soccer; Logan Thomas, Texas A&M University Equestrian; Nethra Tucker, University of Virginia Rowing; Lila Heath, Stockton University; Ander Berman, Skidmore College Baseball; Peter Lawrence, Salve Regina University; Ryan Feldman, Grinnell College for football; Alex Foss from Middlebury College for baseball; and Mia Grove at Stony Brook for soccer. Big congratulations to those guys. Joint facilities, I'll have an update next meeting. We're having a meeting, I believe, on Thursday. No updates on Mountain Valley right now. Flood mitigation, nothing of substance from the big updates last week or last meeting. Affordable housing, I'm going to defer to council. Those are my reports.
Deputy Mayor?
Sure. There was a planning board meeting the day after our last meeting, and there'll be one tomorrow. On the agenda is the continuing application at the Chi Center. Where we are at this point is it's up to public testimony. So previously, the public was allowed to only ask questions. Now they're allowed to come and say whatever they want to say about it. And so I encourage everybody who wants to have something to say about the Chi Center to come tomorrow night, 7:30 in this room. Another thing I wanted to mention is actually it's related to flooding. I participated with Princeton Hydro, who's the vendor that has been chosen to come up with a plan to address flooding in the Glenwood area from the Van Winkle Creek. We walked the site along the Arboretum to get them familiar with the lay of the land, so to speak, and we expect a report from them shortly. And then lastly, Mayor Romano and I had the privilege of attending 2 Eagle Scout court ceremonies, one for boys and one for girls, and it was very inspiring to see all of them. All in all, there were 11 people that were installed as Eagle Scouts. So.
Thank you. Committeeman Cosgrove?
Yes, thank you. The only report I have is that Historic did not have a meeting, but I did attend a meeting today where if people are following the town hall renovation, there are going to be some updated plans coming out soon on that. So I thought I'd give people a heads up on that. Thank you.
Mr. Hawk?
Good evening, members of the Township Committee and members of the community. Filling in for Alex tonight, I simply just want to remind everybody that the annual Memorial Day Parade will be held on this Monday, May 26th, The parade will be stepping off from Milburn High School at 11 a.m. with the ceremony in Taylor Park to follow. We're excited that the Grand Marshal this year is a World War II veteran, Bernard Zen. He was honored here by the Township Committee this year for celebrating his 100th birthday, so we're very excited to have him this year as the Grand Marshal. The parade's always a great event with many great groups participating this year, so we hope to see everybody there on Monday at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cantor?
Thank you, Mayor. Not much of a report tonight, other than the Milburn compliance hearing that was tentatively scheduled for June 2nd was adjourned by the court with no adjourned date given. So if anybody was planning on attending, it's been adjourned for June 2nd, and we don't have a new date yet. Other than that, I have no further report unless there's any questions from the committee.
Mr. Camacho, do you have any reports, or you just?
Well, I just put a couple of flyers on the table, just 3 things from the county. We have the fishing derby schedule for this year. We have the summer music for 2025, which consists of festivals, fireworks, and live music. And lastly, we have the Essex County Paper Shredding Day, which is scheduled for Saturday, June 7th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's a good way to destroy important documents safely and securely. Thank you. I'm good.
Thank you.
The information is on there. The address is going to be at the Essex County Public Works Department in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. Flyers are all
The flyers are all up here.
various locations.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to add the Memorial Day Parade. We have 19 groups participating this year, which is awesome. We've got 2 bands, and we've got the military joining us this year. I think the weather forecast is for a nice day.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great parade. Also, the Milburn Short Hills Chinese Association held an event this past Sunday where they showcased everything that they do, and they had a number of nonprofits that were also there that showcased everything that they did, and the room was packed, and it was really a wonderful afternoon. In addition, this year, Milburn High School is, for the first time, participating in the Essex County Youth Poll Worker Initiative. This program's been going on since 2023. I believe Milburn and Montclair were the only 2 schools in the county that weren't participating. So the program helps students form habits of active and informed citizenship. There's also an added curriculum that comes with it. And I'm happy to say that this year we've got 25 high school students that have signed up to be poll workers on Election Day. So that's going to be, it's going to be really cool. And technology-wise, these kids are going to master that iPad, I'm sure, with no problem. And then finally, I just wanted to make a comment on virtual public comments. At the last meeting, I never said that I was against it. When I first ran 25 years ago, I actually fought to have meetings televised, and a former mayor said if we televise our meetings, no one would come. So, and also when I began my term in 23, I had a disagreement with the former mayor who wanted to eliminate the Zoom option. I said what I said because I want to be respectful of other people's space and their technology. Wasn't really sure, how it would work out. I wasn't ready to say yes or no. So I think since then, Committeeman Second Mandy has provided Mr. McDonald with information. So we hope to see it up and running, I hope sometime in June. So that is all my reports. Public comment. When invited to speak to offer your comments, please come to the lectern, clearly state your name and whether you are a Milburn resident and/or property or business owner. Please do not provide your full address, seeing our meetings are recorded and readily available to the public. To help facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit all to be heard, speakers shall limit their comments to 1 3-minute session. You will be prompted when there's 30 seconds remaining. A reminder that this is not a time for dialogue or to debate a matter, and this is a time during our business meeting for the public to offer comments. We will now open public comment.
He's getting sworn in.
Hi, my name is Eric Osserman, longtime resident of Short Hills. I'm here on a kind of non-controversial mission, I hope. There was discussion 1 or 2 township committee meetings ago about naming the area behind Town Hall Broca Way. I'm here to ask that that actually happen. We would not have gone forward with closing Main Street during the summer. We would not have gone forward with that kind of a solution to protect the health and welfare, particularly of residents of the Washington District. If not for Anthony Broca, may he rest in peace. What a remarkable guy, just a regular man who decided, because his friend Armando had almost died, that he was going to take action and not have any obstruction for ambulances into the Washington District. And now we have that wonderful area behind the town hall. And I asked the Township Committee to take action in advance of the opening of that area. Thank you very much.
Diane Eglow, Milburn resident. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but because I was first curious about when the Greenwood Drive drainage program is going to start, and I see that's on the resolution. But I was on the Township Committee when we made Town Hall Plaza, and we had a vote among the committee members what it should be called. And overwhelmingly, we called it Town Hall Plaza because it is next to Town Hall, and that makes the most amount of sense. I also, from the beginning, was against ever closing Main Street because I served on the first aid squad for, I don't know, it was 14 or 15 years, I can't remember now. And I knew that that was the access for anyone coming from Cranford, Springfield, Union, Washington Section, Greenwood Drive. I know that every minute counts when you have a CPR, an EpiPen incident, whatever. If you want to give this man an honor, give him a plaque on Main Street. Renaming Town Hall Plaza makes 0 sense. I know that I just was kind of surprised when Mr. Stoller, not everybody gets an honor. Not everyone gets a medal. Not everyone gets a prize. And I just say, I really hope Town Hall Plaza is named Town Hall Plaza, and I hope when this Town Hall project ever gets underway, I'm shocked that it's being stopped. I wasn't at the last meeting to know why. But I also had suggested, and if it happens, I don't mind taking a little credit, Town Hall Plaza should be closed all year round. And it should be a park, not a park, but a lovely park with permanent trees and perky, whatever you call that, paving, and don't rename it. It's silly. Give Mr. Broca a plaque.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Feld. I live in the Poet section for more than 32 years with my wife. I think there is a theme tonight on the agenda is where we're going to be curing and correcting some errors and omissions of our former municipal attorney. I submitted to you, and I'm incorporating by reference my letter and the reasons why you should vote for no on 2 of the non-consent agenda items, one being the 9 Main Street non-urban renewal entity long-term tax exemption for the reasons set forth in the letter, and you should deny the appropriation for the defense of the SID's action in Feld 2. I know it might seem like I have a conflict, but I think if you look at my letter, there's reasons, and plus the case I sent to you this afternoon. You could still call it Town Hall Plaza, but I think there should be some kind of memorial for Tony Broca for what he did. I set that forth in my email to you. There's 2 points I want to bring out to notify the community. Last Wednesday, the appellate heard live stream oral argument in Feld versus Milburn. I do not know how they're going to rule, but when you're an attorney, you listen to the questions asked by the panel. the panel asked both sides whether the common law standard governing conflicts of interest and disqualifying and appearance of impropriety has been abolished by the enactment of the local ethics law. I said no. I said it's like Oprah. I should have said it's like Oprah, where you have the Oprah statute, but you also have the common law right of access. The other question they asked was dealt with whether citizens' rights, constitutional rights, to be heard in calendar year 2021, to be heard prior to action on any agenda action item was suppressed. And that's an issue they had to deal with. Also, there was a concession by the township that Fell versus Milburn would not preclude an argument in the third round affordable housing case that the citizens weren't afforded their right. I'd like to bring out another point. It's something called fiscal literacy. On April 22nd, it was disclosed that the state was analyzing our budget. If you go to the website, you'll see that the original unaudited financial statement was revised. And I sent you the various comments from the state. I'm having problems linking our annual debt statement, the capital budget presentation that was on April 22nd, and our annual statements, because there's numbers. I'm just saying we have to be careful about our financial information.
Good evening. Richie Seibert, Milburn resident. 25 years, that's all. So I just wanted to echo Eric Osserman's suggestion about continuing with the progress of not changing the name of Town Hall Plaza to Brocca Way, but to somehow put some kind of signage in Town Hall Plaza saying Brocca Way. And just simple, something that people can see when they walk into it. And I spent time myself with Brocca, met him in town, frequented a lot of restaurants in town. He was a local, he grew up in town here, I believe, and he made a difference for a lot of people in their lives. And sometimes it's nice for people to remember people in special ways. And this could be a special way. And I'll buy the sign. I know where to order the sign from. Just tell me what color you want it to be and what size. So pretty much that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh.
Fran Denmark Feld, longtime resident. I won't even say anymore how many years I've been here. It's aging me. So first of all, this is my first meeting in this room, and it's really a breath of fresh air. I like it, you know, just for a change. The color, the atmosphere, it's very clean. However, what I don't understand is when the plans were made to use this space, nobody thought, wait, we've got to move Zoom with us too. Because back, Annette referred to, the dark day at the beginning of 2023, when Maggie was still our mayor, and she sat there and said because COVID lockdown had ended, we didn't need Zoom anymore. And I was really shocked, because to me it was kind of like, it must have been like if the electric light bulb was invented and everybody started getting light bulbs. And some group said, we don't want the light bulbs in this new space. Everybody looks so much more attractive under candlelight. Let's just not use the bulbs, right? And there's Luddites everywhere. But in that case, it's more cosmetic. In this case, it's about two-way communication. And as a former journalist, and before that I was a clinical social worker, communication is almost my middle name. If you don't have two-way communication between two entities, you're not going to move things forward the way they should be moved forward. And I know that from many, many years in my career and in my personal life. So, yes, Maggie was arguing against it. Annette was brand new. I think it must have been her first meeting and Michael's first meeting. And she said, well, there's 20 towns that are not going to have it. And I said, but why would we copy those towns? We want to stand out. We're Milburn. I don't care what they're doing in Clark. So I think I was heard that night because the group took a pause and they went out and they came back and said, okay, we'll do Zoom. And I thanked everyone profusely. And I've been very grateful that there are times when I can't come in here for one reason or the other. Or as a senior citizen, you know, when it's 20 degrees out in January, I'm very grateful that I can tune in and see everybody. And if I have something to say, I can say it, which isn't all that often. It's just nice to know it's there. So you're giving, and I know Frank did tell me that he knows how to get this thing up and running very easily, as I imagine a tech person who's a millennial would be able to do. So I'm looking forward to having Zoom reinstated. Thank you, Mayor, for acknowledging that that's in the works. Okay, and good night.
My name is Al Carlin. I'm a Melbourne resident, also New Jersey and the United States. And I am a taxpayer, and a very unhappy taxpayer because lots of things that happen in the United States. For instance, paying for people who try to break into the Congress and lynch the Vice President of the United States, as we know, and give them $5 million, and things like that. And also when New Jersey Transit goes on strike and people cannot get to work, and all these other things, and so on and so forth. And I'm interested in these things. Mayor Romano, you can do great things. You work for New Jersey Transit. As I said in April, I would love to see you spend 100 hours a week with New Jersey Transit. I know, and we have a great, Mr. Cosgrove, as an attorney, could do a great job as a mayor, and so forth. You know, I just want to rearrange things because what we have here, I'm reading these agreements. They are difficult. You've been to court many times. I've read some of your briefs. They're very, very good. You know how to write contracts in different areas. And reading this stuff takes hours. I'm not an attorney, but it goes back and forth. And for anyone to understand this stuff, it takes a long, long time. And New Jersey Transit, I've been at Penn Station. There were problems with the machines breaking. I was put on a wrong train. There's so many other issues on that. And all I'm trying to say is there are so many problems with NJT right now. Seniors are unhappy. They tell people get on the wrong trains, wrong everything. That's my only problem with this. Also, rents. People have to leave Milburn because they can't afford staying here. I know a next-door neighbor who is a teacher, brought up in Livingston, moved to Milburn, taught in a local school, now moved to North Carolina. Local teacher, what's happening? She carries her passport around with her because she's afraid of what's happening in case she gets picked up. She teaches in a local school here in Milburn. She was born in Trinidad, but she carries her passport in case she's picked up by ICE. What would happen in case? Who would go and work with her? Now, these are real things that people don't understand that's happening in the United States of America in towns. You know what's happening in Newark. You know the congresswoman who was just indicted on a felony charge. These are really simple, serious items. You know, Milburn is Milburn, and what people say in Milburn, and what Steve is. And I get all this stuff from all these wonderful candidates.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Okay. Committeeman Cosgrove, do you have any remarks?
Yes, I do. So thank you, folks who commented. On the plaque or the Broca Way, I certainly in favor of that. I think a plaque at Town Hall Plaza would be a wonderful idea. I'm not sure how the rest of the group. On the Zoom, I believe we should have Zoom. You know, as long as I can affect it, we're always gonna have Zoom. We need to make things more open than they ever were, and, you know, I'm game for all that, but certainly support the Zoom and hope that gets done quickly. Mr. Carlin, your comments, I have been offering my thoughts and guidance, you know, to the town. I don't always win, but I think it's been a benefit. Thank you all.
Committeeman Stoller?
Sure. Listen, for Tony Braca and what's gonna happen there, we'll do the right thing, whatever transpires. But listen, when I hear Tony Braca, it brings a sense of peace and joy to me. That big infectious smile he had, and the 2 children he left behind and a wife, and the memories that we have together with them. So in no way will we ever put a stain on that. Zoom, obviously, I've made my say on Zoom. You know, having that closed year-round, 100% I agree that could be closed year-round, but we have some things we need to understand and work out first, like what's gonna happen to that lot, the Rimbeck lot, what's gonna happen to Town Hall. And it's a methodical process that we have to actually go through the process to get to any of these decisions. And that's something that's actually a little novel. Let's do some homework and let's actually look at things and make decisions based on what's best for all constituents and residents. And that's the process that we've been following. Thank you.
Sure. You know, as far as honoring Anthony Braca, I think I'm actually the one who suggested the street, but I wasn't suggesting renaming the street officially. So it would still be Town Hall Plaza, that's what it would say on, you know, on Google Maps and whatever else. But underneath that, and I've seen it in other towns, and particularly in Livingston, right off of Route 10, there would be a sign, what I think would be a nice honor, would be a sign underneath Town Hall Plaza using the same style as the street signs, the same color, the same font, that said Brackaway as a honorary kind of name, not the official name. I don't think anybody lives there, but if they did, the address would still be Town Hall Plaza. But, you know, it would still honor him and be very visible because it's on the street sign. So that was what I had intended. I was not intending to do a wholesale rename of the street. And, you know, certainly we have a sign shop here, so that prints those signs. I would think it would be a no-brainer for them to print that, and then we could do a ceremony to, you know, to acknowledge it when it's put up.
To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued. Just so you know,
Actually, I have one other thing too. Sorry. For Mr. Feld, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, it almost seems like there's innuendo that there's something going on in the financials versus what the state did. You know, there's a bridge that brings everything through. There's nothing nefarious or anything on talk going on with those financials. So you may want to ask Matt Laracy for the bridge between the two as they do their normal financial work. That's what they do. So I just want to not address that.
thank you. Yes, with Anthony Braca, we'll figure something out. I've known Anthony Braca since kindergarten, so you know, we'll figure something out down the road. Do you have anything? Or no. Mr. Cantor, do you have anything?
Nothing, Mayor, thank you.
Okay, great. The Township Committee will now consider consent agenda resolutions. Are there any comments from the committee in regard to any items listed on the consent agenda? May I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-140 through Resolution 25-144 as updated, which are listed on the consent agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Yes.
Mr. Stoller?
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano?
Yes. Are there any comments from the committee in regard to Resolution 25-145? May I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-145?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove,
Yes.
Mr. Stoller,
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano.
Yes. Are there any comments from the committee in regard to Resolution 25-146? May I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-146?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen,
No.
Mr. Cosgrove,
No.
Mr. Stoller,
Yeah, I want to mention that, the committee fully supports Milburn Township's commitment to meeting our affordable housing obligations. We're 100% for it, but I can't support this in its current form. We've bent over backwards as a committee to negotiate, work with the state to bring two alternatives forward. I think it's an absolute shame that we would put 75 families in a segregated development on a contaminated site. And everyone says, listen, Ben, a site's contaminated, it's going to be remediated. Look at what happened in Delaware with our former president. Look what happened in Gowanus with the amount of lawsuits that are coming. It's crazy how many people are getting sick who lived on a remediated site. It's shame on the prior judges, shame on RPM, shame on Frank Banish for not coming and actually, he looked me in the eye, he actually gave me a hug when he left after we toured the two new possible sites and we outlined what we thought was wrong with the 75 segregated, for the site of the segregated development. Shame on the former TC who did not have the courage, the backbone, or the mental stamina to actually do the work to not let this happen. Honestly, so I am a strong no.
Mr. Cantor, should I take the roll call again?
Yeah, so just for the record, we opened this up for discussion. That would be the appropriate time to give discussion. Once it's open for voting, we're really not supposed to comment. So why don't we open it up? Why don't we open it up to any further comments from the committee and then take another roll call? Is there any further comments from the committee? All right, now it's up to the mayor, but if you'd like to take another roll call, I think that was a good suggestion by Madam Clerk.
Sure, let's roll call again, please. So may I have a, go ahead, roll call vote again. We already did.
Deputy Mayor Cohen,
Still no.
Mr. Cosgrove,
No.
Mr. Stoller,
Stronger no.
Mayor Romano.
No. Are there any comments from the committee in regard to Resolution 25-147? May I have
Yes.
a- I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yes, Mayor, I do. I struggled with this one, 25-147. And it's a very close call. I am going to support it, but with a few caveats. I do not expect to see another request from the SID looking for money. I do expect that we get the money back if the SID's successful in their attempts to try to recover their fees from Bear Properties. And I do want to say, and I know some folks on this probably think this is a minor amount, but we also, approved the bills list tonight, which is about $945,000. It's all little amounts like this, give or take, but it adds up, and that's why I have a concern about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to interject as well. The amount of, I think it sends the wrong message to the folks in town who've stepped up to volunteer their time to help lead the SID through, multiple good economic decisions for our town. For that reason, it is a small amount, but there's, an indemnification clause too that is somewhat implicit from a volunteer and from the TC, as we know, or you can see left and right. So for that reason, I'm going to go for it.
And I also, it's a small amount to the overall budget of the town. It's not a small amount to the SID. And I guess I share some of Mr. Cosgrove's concerns. I guess what kind of swung it with me was this amount of money would pay for 11 bands through the course of, they pay about $300 for each band that comes. So this is 3,300 or 3,500, whatever it is exactly, I don't have it in front of me. That's 11 bands, so it's significant to them, and it would be, not to say that that's what, if they had to pay, they'd cancel all of those, but that does put it in perspective.
May I have a motion to approve Resolution 25-147?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Yes.
Mr. Stoller?
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2705-25. I would like to present an ordinance entitled Ordinance Number 2705-25, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the Township of Milburn, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2-16.9, Off-Duty Employment of Police Officers for Police-Related Activities. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend Article 2-16.9, Off-Duty Employment of Police Officers for Police-Related Activities, specifically subsection D, Rates of Compensation, Administrative Fees, and Payment for Service. This minor change will increase the rate of pay for off-duty officers as it relates to security functions to increase participation in this category by being more in line with rates of pay for other off-duty functions. So this is not, the township doesn't pay this, whoever needs the officers pays the off-duty police officers. I move that this ordinance be taken up and passed on first reading, and that the township clerk be authorized to have the ordinance published in accordance with law in the item and for hearing and final passage on Tuesday, June 17, 2025. Please be advised that the public hearing of this ordinance will be held at Milburn Education Center located at 434 Milburn Avenue, Milburn. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Yes.
Mr. Stoller?
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano?
Yes. Okay, Deputy Mayor Cohen, you're scheduled to sponsor 2706-25.
Yeah. I would like to present an ordinance entitled Ordinance 2706-25, ordinance amending and supplementing the Township of Milburn Development Regulations and Zoning Ordinance. This is the one that we've talked about before. It came to us, it went back to the zoning committee, and now it's back because with a tighter definition. It redefines, primarily, it redefines multifamily housing, and it redefines what an apartment is. So it tightens up some of those definitions that were vague and allowed loopholes to occur in the past. I move that this ordinance be taken up and passed on first reading, and that the township clerk be authorized to have the ordinance published in accordance with law in the item and for hearing and final passage on Tuesday, June 17, 2025. Please be advised that the public hearing of this ordinance will be held at the Milburn Education Center located at 434 Milburn Avenue, Milburn.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Yes.
Mr. Stoller?
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano?
Yes.
Thank you.
Committeeman Stoll, you're scheduled to sponsor ordinance 2704-25.
Thank you, Mayor. I present for consideration an ordinance entitled Ordinance Number 2704-25, ordinance creating a temporary open container area. Tonight is the time set for the public hearing and final passage as advertised in accordance with law.
I declare the hearing open.
This is the ordinance for the town plaza to have a open container area. I think I've clinked beers with just about everybody in this room. Actually, everybody except for maybe Mr. Carlin. So there you go.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Well,
Mayor,
I move.
do we close
Oh.
the public hearing?
Sorry. We'll close public comment here. Public hearing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
May I have a second?
Well, I move that this public hearing be closed and the ordinance be adopted on final reading, and the township clerk be directed to publish the ordinance by title as passed on final reading in accordance with law.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Deputy Mayor Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Cosgrove?
Yes.
Mr. Stoller?
Affirmative.
Mayor Romano?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no old business, we have no new business, so we have public comment. This public comment is to allow for final comments from the community. When invited to speak to offer your comments, please come to the lectern, clearly state your name and whether you are a Milburn resident and/or property or business owner. Please do not provide your full address, seeing our meetings are recorded and readily available to the public. A reminder that in order to help facilitate an orderly meeting and permit all to be heard, speakers shall be limited to 1 3-minute session.
I'm Jeffrey Field in the poet section. I'm very happy that you voted down the long-term tax exemption. Citizens can make change. When you said robust, informed civic participation, on July 30th, 2021, there's only one person in this room that showed up at that hearing on shortened notice to approve the settlement. I think the community is learning about what went down, and I look forward to us fighting, continuing in round 3 and round 4, fighting the state and other people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane Eglow, lifelong resident. Wasn't going to speak, and here I'm speaking twice. So I don't want to seem like some horrible cold person to not want to give Brock a plaque, but maybe it should be near Main Street, because Main Street got not closed down. Yeah. And as far as making Town Hall Plaza permanent, there's a great plan that Alex McDonald has in his office that we worked on that would have, to close Town Hall properly, Town Hall Plaza, to traffic, Spring Street would have gone back to two-way. And that whole area, that grassy knoll that we called it, would have had parking. So we were very short on parking. And Christine Bugle in Town Hall, along with, I can't think of his name, he's got the business on Main Street. Him and, I just can't think, they do title searches. Casey Keller, yeah. So he and Christine Bugle, along with Alex, came up with this great plan that would have allowed that area to make like 28 parking spots. It would have gotten rid of that plastic barricade that has been there for how many years? And the reason why that didn't come to fruition was because Tara was having us look at a two-way traffic. Now, I think you spent a couple of $100,000 looking at a two-way traffic proposal. That was never going to happen because it did not go gateway to gateway. And I remember I was against that because it was just a tremendous waste of money. So unless you're going to do two-way traffic and make it realistic from gateway to gateway, where you could put traffic lights that would allow the cars to move. But in the meantime, there's a great plan, and perhaps you could all ask Alex to show it to you again. And good night. I don't want to seem like I'm just such a cold person, but I do really want what's best for the town and everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Still Al Carlin, and I, Milburn, and I live in an apartment, and many people are very, very happy that they can now cross Milburn Avenue where the new construction is. Because it's now, believe it or not, now people aren't as easily killed, and that's very important. And, no, really. And the idea is because now people can cross, and with the flashing lights, and it's a lot easier. Some people actually stop and let pedestrians go by. Not everyone, but some people, most people do now. And the flashing lights make a difference. There's a lot of noise every single night, obviously, because of the construction. And all day long, depending on the building across the street, the old Annie says, as you know. A lot of people are very unhappy about it, but it is what it is. Sorry, Mayor Romano, I didn't want to be negative. I do appreciate what you want, but so many people are frustrated with so many issues with NJT, and you know that because you're there basically every day. I speak to conductors, I speak to a lot of different people because I was always involved in public transportation for my entire life in many different areas. Even in Milburn, getting up and down the steps sometimes and clearing the things. Many people, some people actually go to South Orange if they're handicapped because of getting without any handicap access, or even to Summit. I mean, you may not realize that, but it does happen. You know, so more money going to NJT would be a nice thing. That's the only reason I say, because you're there. That's the only thing. As far as closing of Main Street, I timed it. Yes, at different hours, even late at night, and coming from south Main Street, it took about at least 4 to 5 minutes. Stop, make a turn, block 1 and up. So it could make a difference between life and death. Main Street should never have been closed. I timed it myself. I mean, it wasn't hard to do, and I'm not that bright, so that's what happened. But I thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Anyone else? I will close public comment. Does anyone have anything to add? Committeeman Stoller, do you have anything?
I do. Mr. Carlin, what you were saying, it's turned into a bit of a nightmare, though, at that Essex-Milburn interchange where Annie says is being built, because they closed down the sidewalk now. So, when I walk to the train in the morning, you got to walk to that site, cross the street, walk down and walk up. And, my daughter, beautiful daughter who rides her bike, so, now school's getting closer to the summer, it can be dangerous. And, very appreciative to Essex County and the folks who built out that crossing, Captain Camacho, and it really helps for that crossing to be there. But just a message for the community is, our children live here, let's slow down and look when we see a crosswalk, because there's probably going to be somebody crossing, walking a dog or anything along those lines. So just for the community writ large, let's slow down and watch what's happening.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor?
I have nothing to add.
Committeeman Cosgrove?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Cantor, anything?
No, Mayor, thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? May I have a second? All those in favor? Good night, thank you.